Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a deep dive into patterning fall fish. Once we find where they're going to be, then we're going to check out some baits that I would use to catch those fish. So, it's going to be a good video. Let's strap in, see what we can do to catch some fall fish. Hey guys, what's up? So when we're talking about finding fish in the fall, a great place to start, and a place that I start even on lakes that I know, is Google Maps or Google Earth, right? So here we're on Google Earth, and if I think about fall time fishing, right, I want to think that bait fish are moving from their summer haunts to eventually where they are going to winter. Now, bass, we know them, follow bait fish. So if I know that all summer I've been catching fish on the end of these points here, and here we have some underwater points on Lake Tippy. Great places to catch them in the summer. Matter of fact, right here, I've been catching them a ton, right, this summer, especially on the fluke, on the swim bait. I know that as fall begins to progress, those bait fish are going to move in towards the shore. They're going to get up in those shallow weeds, and they're going to begin to follow these transitions back into areas. Now, this means that my bite is shifting from the ends of points out here, and it is heading towards the shallows, because ultimately in the winter time and in the early spring, you know that channels are a great place to catch fish. There's a ton of bait fish and fish back there just because it's a sheltered area. So that I know that my search for fish in the fall right here is going to start in their summertime locations, and then I'm going to fish my way back into these areas. As we progress from the early fall to the late fall, those fish will get closer and closer and closer in, and this is a great place to start. Now, what you want to look on this highway right here as they're following this are places where they are going to stop, right? Docks are a fantastic thing, and a lot of guys go, on Tippy Lake, there's 1,000 docks? One way that you can cut down the number of stuff that you have to fish is if you can find docks that intersect fish migration routes or highways that I like to think, you're going to up your success factor by a factor of 10. This dock right here on Tippy, I have caught a ton of fish off of this time of year because it has weeds, it has everything, but it is also on that bigger transition point, right? It has allowed way more fish to gather on it because fish are traveling down this line right here. They're stopping at this dock, and then as we get cooler temps, those fish move from these flats, and then they move back into this pocket, right? Now, a pocket doesn't have to be a big obvious point like this, right? That's just a good example. Pockets can be a lot smaller, right? We go over here, we can fly to the other end of the lake, and we can see, okay, I know that fish have been spending a ton of time in the summer out here along this break line, right? This can also serve as a pocket. Here we have a tiny little nothing channel. There's like 3 or 4, boat docks back there. Those fish will gather on this flat right here in between these docks. Instead of being out deeper, they're up here and they are dirt shallow. When we're talking inside edge, we're talking up against the seawall, up against the rocks, and those fish are going to move from the main lake back into these sheltered, pocketed areas. Anywhere where bass can pin bait fish in, they will do it, right? Another great location right here. We shot one of our first videos on Tippy Lake right here, just absolutely annihilating fish in the springtime right here in this pocket because we knew that they were going to transition out this line, out to the main point in the summertime. During the fall, they're going to go in reverse. They come back down this line, and these pockets right here, these flat spots where the grass is lower, are fantastic spots because those bait fish are going to get pinned back in here against these docks. Those bass are going to keep them in there and feed up as long as they possibly can. So in the fall, when we're talking about fishing pockets, it's anywhere that the bass can pin in bait fish, right? So if you think about that, that's going to help you out a lot when you're trying to start to find fish. You want to start on a deeper transition area. You want to follow that transition back to where it becomes a pocket, and that allows you to, one, work through a couple scenarios, and two, it allows you to try to start to pattern Hey guys, what's up? Just want to talk to you today about what's on my deck during the fall. The fall time right now can be a really frustrating time because we're in between summer patterns and fall patterns. Now, fall bite's going to be epic, but we're not there yet. Things to think about. One, what kind of lake are you on? If you are on a lake that is bait fish driven, then what you want to have on deck are bait fish imitators, right? Matching the hatch. A lot of guys talk about matching the hatch all the time. So bait fish lakes, I really want to focus on shad or shiners or whatever you have are starting to pull off of the main lake and head back to the shallows. One of the best ways to find fish in transition is moving baits and power fishing, right? So the first bait that I'm going to start with is the spinnerbait. I throw a 3/8 ounce. I throw a Rage Swimmer on the back there. I always run a trailer on my spinnerbaits. I feel like I get 5 times more bites when I do that versus just running like a trailer hook or something like that. But that spinnerbait right there, double willow leaves, big blade on there right now in the fall because fish are looking to feed and I want to have that nice thump. You can throw a spinnerbait around grass. It's really nice. You can throw it basically anywhere. It's pretty much weedless. It's going to come through a lot. So I like the 3/8 ounce because it'll ride up over a lot of stuff. And if I'm searching and searching and searching, the spinnerbait is a great bait to throw. Now, if the water is clearer, right, I'm going to move away from the spinnerbait. I'm going to move more towards the swim bait. Now, this is a Dirty Jigs Matt Allen head right here, 1/4 ounce with a Rage Swimmer on there. This bait will get bit when nothing else will. If you are out on the lake, you can't catch anything, you can't get bit, this is the bait you want to throw, right? This swim bait will literally get bit when nothing else will. And you can go up and down in sizes, you can go and change colors, you can do a lot of stuff, but the simple spinner bait right here, when they are after bait fish and they are locked on a bait fish profile, will get bit when nothing else will. So this is a do-it-all bait, top to bottom, wherever you are at, this bait will get bit, right? Now, a couple different options for you here. One thing that I really like in the fall, especially in the transition, if you can find green weeds, lily pads that are still alive, anything like that, a frog is a great bait. Now, I don't just throw a regular frog, I throw a popping frog. I like a popping frog at this time because I can walk it and spit it. It sounds like a bluegill, and bluegill are coming back onto the bass's menu heavily in the fall right now because they're looking to feed up, they're looking to eat, and they're moving back shallow in big numbers. Bluegill are in shallow, they're around docks, they're around weeds. That popping frog is a fantastic way to get bit if you can find green weeds, right? Now, another option in those green weeds that I really like at this time is the Neko rig. Now, why the Neko rig versus, you know, your general Texas rig, your other things? One, the Neko rig is something that a lot of fish do not see. There are not a lot of guys right now outside of your pro circuit that are throwing the Neko rig. So if you're on a lake, a lot of guys are going to throw a Texas rig. They're going to throw a wacky rig. The Neko is a different look. Plus, the Neko gets down into that green weeds. You can shake it, hold it in that spot. It's a killer bait to get bit. The fall time is all about trying to find either bait fish or the last available living grass or weeds in your lake. Because if you can find green weeds right now and you can find bait fish around them, you're going to get bit, right? And that's part of the battle in the fall, is finding fish and then finding fish that are willing to bite. And you sometimes got to work for it, right? Now, when I know that I am around fish that are eating bluegill, perch, not your traditional bait fish, I'm immediately going to the big swim bait. Now, the big swim bait is not going to get you a lot of bites most days, but it's going to get you the right kind of bites. This swim bait I've had on the deck for about a month. It's been chewed, right? Because fish have absolutely, positively been smoking this as they're coming back in. They're starting to set up in their fall patterns. They're looking to feed up. This bait right here, this Megabass Mag Draft, will absolutely, positively get lit up by big fish this time of year. So this is a great time of year. You know you're gonna have to grind to get bites. If you're looking for the right kind of bites, the swim bait will find you the right kind of bait.